Hello, welcome back to the Kitchen Talk podcast. This is episode 2. I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who listened to the podcast last week. I think we ended up with about 120 views on Spotify and 80 or 90 on YouTube. So big thanks to everyone, especially Reese and Jason, who helped me with the technical side of things. I'm now using a different software, so hopefully now whenever I speak, my lips are actually in sync with what I'm saying, and I won't look like a fucking dubbed anime TV program anymore. It also might not work. To tell you the truth, it could also be absolutely shite, and I might have to delete this. But if it don't, and you're listening, very welcome. Huge news today. Well, actually, it came out yesterday. But George Foreman, the creator of the Lean Mean grilling machine, unfortunately passed away at the age 76. Very sad indeed. Also, who the fuck knew that guy was a boxer? By the way, am I right? I just knew as the grilling machine. Air fryers are probably the closest thing we have to a new invention like the George Foreman grilling machine. When you think about it, really, just a healthier way to cook. Well, it's not even really a healthy way to cook your food. Well, I suppose it is because you don't need to fry stuff. You can just fuck it all in the air fryer now, instead of putting it in oil or what have you. Which at the time was what the George Foreman was all about. It was all about the healthier options. I saw a photo of his coffin the other day, and it looked like a George Foreman grill with the lid open, which was hilarious. People were talking about at his cremation, would they have a wee tray underneath just to catch all the grease, which is also fucking a hilarious idea, to be honest. Whenever I was looking into George Foreman, I found out he was a heavyweight boxer, and then I also found out he had 12 children, 12, 8 daughters and 5 sons. Fun fact about all of his sons, all 5 of them are all called George. George Foreman, more like George Five Man. That's the kind of comedy we're in for this episode. Uh, that was just a quick update. I felt like I had to get that joke in there. We do have some massive news coming out of East Belfast, where I'm from. If you're from the other parts of the city or further afield, you might not have heard about this. There's a cafe in East Belfast, and they've come under a lot of fire in the last week or so, because they made a Facebook post, and it's been deemed very controversial. I've got it right here for you. Bang. Oh, by the way, look at that. Big thanks to Jason for telling me how to do this on that's my Facebook Messenger chats we've got open there. How the fuck did I close that down? God knows. Absolutely God knows. So this is a post. I don't know if you can read this. I hope you couldn't read any of my messages of me messaging fucking femboys or something. We have a post here from Belfast Breakfast Bops, which is the cafe in question. It's a photo of a mobility scooter, as you can probably see, but if you can't read, I'll read it out to you. It says, if you're in one of these because you're morbidly obese, please know you're not disabled, you're fat, and probably not very useful. It most definitely is your fault. Thyroid issues are workable, and you're taking away resources from those who actually deserve it. How about park the mobility scooter and walk fatty, maybe even eventually run? Which ultimately is pretty hilarious in the grand scheme of things whenever your whole business is selling fucking fried sausages and bacon and bread and nothing else. It's not as if there's like healthy options. And don't get me wrong, I'll not lie to the viewers here. I'll be completely transparent. It's a fucking good cafe. It's a fucking brilliant cafe. And yesterday morning, my ma actually said to me, "Do you want to go round there and get us something to eat?" And I says, "I can't. I just can't do it because I don't want to go in there and become ostracized. You know, him looking at me and being like, 'Listen, fat boy, it's going to be time for you to fucking pack up, get the mobility scooter on.' You know, I don't want that. You know, I just want to have a sausage soda in peace." But it's I mean, it's a real weird thing to do because if you're selling fries and sausages and like Belfast Bops and fucking sodas, your sort of main audience, your target audience, is going to be overweight people or generally just unhealthy people. Let's be honest. You're not fucking attracting the aforementioned in last week's podcast, high rocks cunts. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be getting all the fatties of the day, all the big heifers into your shop, and that's absolutely fine. If who's actually that arsed about things? Him, apparently, the guy who owns it. I like to imagine he's been absolutely blocked one night and just fucking went on a rampage and been like, I'm selling all this fat food, and I don't even fucking like fat people. I'm taking money off these fucking fat people, and I don't even like them. They disgust me. And I think that's quite funny, because like, why are you getting so wound up about it? Like, fat phobia is the modern term for these things, and to me, it's like probably the funniest. Well, it's probably the only funny one, because it's hating someone for a lifestyle choice that they've made. It's not like racism or homophobia or misogyny, where you're hating them because they fall into a category, like a fucking legal category of people. Like, you don't. There's nowhere you put on like a legal document saying I'm fat. By the way, it's not like a class. It's not like I'm white or I'm black or I'm straight or whatever. It's literally just I'm overweight, and they just hate you for it for some reason. And then I was thinking, like, what is it about this that makes him so angry? And then, if you've ever been in the shop, he has a wee step that's like fucking this size, and it's like one of those steps where if someone was in a mobility scooter, they probably couldn't get up it without a wee bit of a push. So maybe like, so someone come into his shop and they've tried to get in, and he's been like, get the fuck out, you can't enter my fucking shop. Or maybe that's why he's got the step, and that's what's caused that's why he's just so against people in mobility scooters. And he says as well, like, you're taking away resources, but he has the photo of the mobility scooter, and it's like, is that the fucking the resources that they're taking up? There's too many fat people and not enough mobility scooters, for fuck's sake. There's a shortage of mobility scooters. Fucking my poor granny fell down the stairs, or we can't get a mobility scooter because all these fat cunts. It's always just like blaming someone else for like your own problems, which it probably isn't even. I don't know what he's talking about, but tell you what, big son, Mr. Bop, Belfast Breakfast Bops, I'll tell you where to go. Benidorm, and you'll see fucking all sorts there. Your blood pressure be through the roof, more so than the people who eat out of your establishment. And you'll get a fucking a different change of view on the world. You'll see what's real. All sorts in Benidorm, but I don't think people actually walk in Benidorm. It's just all mobility scooters. It's like the way American cities aren't designed for walking. Benidorm is just only designed for mobility scooters and stag doos or something. There's no roads, just mobility scooter paths. So just go there and see how you feel. But he obviously, as anything that gets a bit of attention in Belfast, it did. Mr. Nolan, resident mouthpiece, investigative journalist Stephen Nolan, has picked up on the situation, and it's probably it probably goes. It takes it. Stephen Nolan probably takes it a bit to heart, because he is a bit of a larger gentleman himself. There used to be videos of him, and I've if anyone can find this video, we side note here, if anyone can find this video of Stephen Nolan on his weight loss journey, and he's eating a packet of crisps, packet of salt and vinegar Walkers, but he's not actually eating the crisps. This was part of his diet. He didn't eat the crisps, he just sucked the flavour off them and put them back in the bag. If anyone can find the video of him doing that, I would really appreciate it, because it's so funny. Maybe one episode I'll just take a deep dive into Stephen Nolan, and I'll show you all the funny videos I have of him, because there are so many funny videos of this guy. He's just a character in general, and I don't even hate him that much. A lot of people hate him. I think he's pretty funny. I've never, although in saying that, I can see why people probably hate him for his political views. I don't really give a fuck. I just like the memes of him. There's ones of him on. He's doing training for the PSNI. He's like in there training, and he's got the full fucking rack gear on, and they throw like a pretend petrol bomb at him, and he's on the ground and he's rolling about. I can't get up. And then there's obviously Nolan on the farm when he starts whiting in cow shite. But enough about Stephen Nolan. Well, actually, no, there's more Stephen Nolan we've got here. Stephen Nolan, as I was saying, he caught wind of the breakfast bop situation, and he thought he'd take himself down to see what's what, to do some groundbreaking investigative journalism, crack the code. What's this guy all about? And there's a video of it that Belfast Breakfast Bops actually have kindly posted themselves for us all to see. So this is their CCTV, I don't know if you can see this, but the caption is, when Nolan shows up to stir the pot, he was put out. Wouldn't want him about the place under any circumstances. If you can see my cursor, that's the guy who owns the shop, and there's Stephen Nolan getting ushered out. He's got the microphone in his hand. And he's obviously got like someone recording him outside the shop. He's got the microphone in his hand. And you can, unfortunately, the video has no sound, which is a crying shame, because I can only imagine what it sounds like, him getting marched out of the shop. You think this is you think people in mobility scooters are useless? Is that right? Would you not serve someone in a mobility scooter? Right, big man, it's time for you to get out. Get out, Nolan. Get out, Stephen. Get out. This is a disgrace. This is an utter disgrace. You won't serve fat people for being in mobility scooters. And he gets walked out. What if he was just there to get a fucking sausage soda? Do you know what I mean? It has every sort of possibility that was the case. He just wanted a sausage soda. And he was like, oh, here comes trouble. You know, I've been blocked writing Facebook statuses. Stephen Nolan's going to come around. And he does. Maybe Stephen Nolan didn't even know about it. But obviously he did. That was just a joke. He very much did know. I think they had it out on the Nolan Show radio fucking thing. I don't have clips of that, obviously, because I'm not a pensioner who listens to the radio. I'm just a humble guy listening to this podcast. But that's enough about the Belfast Breakfast Bops saga. If anyone else has any funny memes about it, I was on the guy's Facebook page, and it's almost like, do you ever get when something takes so much attention, or gets so much attention, and then it's like everyone jumps on the bandwagon, and it's like, it's a bit dead now. And this guy's obviously fucking loving it. He's got all sorts of publicity from it. And there's like people like really sucking up to him, being like, oh yeah, fucking lovely sausage pops and sodas. I hate fat people too. It's so fucking strange why people like, if they see someone getting a bit of grief online, and rightly so, let's be honest here. It's a fucking wild thing to put up on Facebook. You know, it's a bit unnecessary. And people are like, oh fuck, he's done nothing wrong. He's fucking right. You know what I mean? He's fucking right. And then they just lick up to them online, and I don't understand what the purpose of that is. But there's my 2 cents on it anyway. What else do we have to talk about today? Yep. So I got a bit of grief last week. If you haven't listened to that, by the way, give it a listen. It's probably better than this one. I took a bit of a turn and started arguing. Didn't really argue. I wasn't arguing with anyone. I started sort of expressing my feelings towards people that do high rocks, and I've got some word back, some feedback, and I would just like to take this point in the podcast. If you did listen to the podcast last week, and you were upset about what I said about high rocks, you just have to understand. This is a podcast. It's just my opinion. And I actually don't give a fuck. Yous are absolute fucking weirdos. Yous are just, and the more I talk about high rocks, the more my phone listens to me talk about high rocks, and the more I see high rocks wankers on my social media. And I hate yous. I want yous to go away. I want yous to stop fucking just disappear from my fucking phone. I'm sick of seeing it. I saw a bag, and it was like a high. I don't know if they fucking give these bags out or they what do you call it? They like you buy them from the High Rocks merchandise store, which probably makes more money than actual High Rocks. And it's like some girl was like, it's not just a bag, it's a way of life, and it's like her fucking High Rocks bag, covered with fucking all these like all the stickers. You must get like a patch or something wherever you do your High Rocks. It's the big, oh yeah, you just slap it on your bag, and it's like, oh yeah, everyone looking at me, I am a big fucking wanker. I did my big fucking wanking hour of running and wanking in Paris. Oh, I also did a big wank session in Berlin. Oh yeah, put it on my bag. I did a big wanking session in Glasgow. That's where Luke was the other week. So sorry, Luke. Again, I don't know where the fucking do the High Rocks things. That's just the only 3 places that I can name. Probably Amsterdam too. But yes, I'm not even meant to be talking about high rocks, but they just fucking get me riled up. Sort of similar to the people who do high rocks. I imagine a lot of people who do high rocks probably wear this clothing brand. I've been seeing it everywhere recently, and it drives me fucking insane. It's called Gym Plus Coffee. I don't know if anyone's seen this, but the clothes literally just say Gym Plus Coffee. And my understanding is now that it's athleisure wear is the description. I actually have a description here for them. UCC graduates Niall Horgan and Diarmuid McSweeney are the two founders of Gym Plus Coffee. Can I also say I imagine they sound like exactly what you'd think they sound like. My name's Niall Horgan and I'm Diarmuid McSweeney, and we're the two founders of Gym Plus Coffee, and we just love going to the gym and getting coffee. It's our two favourite things. I love going for a park run and then going to get a nice flat white oat milk flat white in my Gym Plus Coffee gear. It's what we love to do. We went to Trinity College Dublin, and we're here, and we just love going to the gym and then getting coffee. I've done a high rocks. I done a high rocks there in Dublin. I did 100 wall balls unbroken, and I did it in an hour and 9 minutes. It was such a good feeling. I love going and getting a coffee afterwards. I love getting an oat milk flat white. That's what I imagine it sound like. And here we go. Oh, it's called an athleisure company, which is athletics and leisure. So, that's what the two things it's for: athletics and leisure, which are two fucking different things. Can I just say, athletics and leisure are not the same thing. If I'm doing athletics, which I'm not, I'd be wearing, shorts, or maybe like, I don't know, what the fuck do people wear? Like a gym top or something. Anything's a gym top if you're brave enough. If it's got fucking deodorant stains on it, you know what I mean? That's what I do. Well, not what I do. Well, what I've done. If I've been going to the gym, just fucking lift out a t-shirt. Oh, I haven't worn this in 6 years. It's a bit too small on me, and it's got fucking deodorant stains under the armpits. Yeah, I'll wear it to the gym. Do you know what I mean? Leisure wear? What's that? Fucking tracksuit bottoms? Is that what we're really calling things nowadays? I love my athleisure wear. I love it. I love being able, the functionality of being able to, I don't know why I'm doing a down south accent now. I'm stuck in Niall Horgan and Diarmuid McSweeney mode. Mate, I just love, going for a coffee, and it's just so versatile. I can go for a coffee, and then if I want to go for a 5k, I can just go for a 5k in my athleisure Gym Plus Coffee wear. Yeah, can you? So can I. I can do it in a pair of fucking Nike tracksuit bottoms and a jumper. Do you know what I mean, mate? It's not that big of a deal. And I haven't even finished the description, and I'm getting my blood pressure's through the roof here. I could do with some Gym Plus Coffee right now, man. So the company, which gets its inspiration from the active lifestyle the lads enjoyed while traveling in Australia and California. Getting so fucking worked up, I'm turning dyslexic here. These two dickheads I was in California for a year, and I just took a gap year and went traveling around California, and I met some interesting people doing CrossFit. And then I went to Australia, and I worked at a coffee shop making oat milk flat whites, and then I was doing park runs in my spare time. Fuck you so much. I hate you so much. I don't even know them. I don't even know what they look like. We'll find out what they look like, will we? I bet you they look exactly like what you would expect them to look like. Let me just Google this right quick. Niall Horgan and Diarmuid McSweeney. I had the other two, you might have noticed I had the other two prepared, but I didn't expect to have to Google these two guys. Yeah, they look exactly what you would expect. Let me see. Which one's this now? Is that the right one? I've taken a guess. Nope, that's the fucking mobility scooter again. It was a 50-50 shot, and I missed. So, look at that, like... Is that them where... Of course they're going for a friggin' coffee on a walk in the park, mate. A bloody coffee and a walk in the park. What? You can't beat it on a Sunday. Nice coffee, nice oat milk, flat white, on a walk around the park. Fucking brilliant, mate. It's very on brand for them. One of them's bald, so what good's all that fucking running and coffee doing you when you're bald, mate? These guys have no idea who I am, and I hate them, and they have no opinion of me. They're multi-millionaires probably, and I'm sitting here in my man's kitchen slabbering about them. But that's the beauty of it. I don't give a fuck. I hope their company goes bust, and everyone who wears Gym Plus Coffee. It's so obnoxious as well. Obviously they're not modelling their own stuff, but I've seen people, and it's just a big fucking Gym Plus Coffee. If that's the two main things that you like, if that's your two main hobbies, one of them isn't even a hobby. One of them's a fucking drink. It's not even like, fair enough, you can go for a coffee, you can go to the gym. Obviously the gym's a hobby. Sorry, it's not a hobby, mate. It's a lifestyle. Sorry, mate. Um, you're not actually. What's so fucking good about? Why is it not gym and tea, gym and coke, gym and fucking more like gym and coffee, more like fucking gin and tonic? Am I right? Fucking what if I put my hobbies in there? Fucking I don't know, wanking and Pepsi Max. How about that? How about I walk about with a T-shirt on that says wanking plus Pepsi Max? People are going, what this fucking weirdo's all about? Because you're all doing it. Everyone's doing it. It's normal. Gym plus coffee. Oh, my two favourite things. It reminds me of those. You see these people on Hinge, and it's like their typical Sunday, walking a coffee, typical Sunday roast, or coffee walk Sunday roast. Shoot me in the fucking head. There's so many better things to do than those three things. My man knows if there's a Sunday dinner put down in front of me on a Sunday, fucking good night, right? Irene, bang, straight to the jaw, 1 a.m. And that's just the way it is. If you're out on a Saturday night and you've had a few liquors, a few ales, the last thing you want to be eating is fucking meat, spuds, and gravy. Sunday roast and a walk. I don't want to leave the house. I can barely leave my bed. I'm terrified to even look at my phone. Never mind fucking brave the great outdoors. That's my typical Sunday. Every Sunday, is it? Your typical Sunday? You don't do anything else? That's what your Sunday is? Fucking waste. And, people would consider you a waster if you're out drinking, having a good time. I think that's a fucking waste. It's a waste of life, going for a coffee and a walk. Great. Now, you might have been able to tell here, but I don't drink coffee. It makes me anxious. So, and that's going outside with a coffee. Jesus Christ, are you trying to make me fucking have a panic attack? So that's and I don't mind if you drink coffee, but it's not that fucking big of a deal. It's not so good. You would fucking walk around with a T-shirt on saying just coffee. Love coffee. Coffee's my fucking can't go a day without my coffee. Can't go a friggin' minute without my coffee. But that it is just like the people who wear that just remind me of like those Hinge prompts, and it is just the most boring people you'll ever meet in your life. I obviously can't speak to the side of the Hinge that encounters males on it, because I'm a straight white man, but I don't know why my colour has anything to do with it there. But I only see women's prompts, and you do get boring women too, obviously, as you do boring men. The one I've been seeing recently now is, if you're not familiar with Hinge and prompts, this might be sounding like fucking Mandarin to you, but it's a dating app, and whenever you're setting up your profile, you get all these prompts, and they're like a sentence starter, and you finish off the sentence more or less. One of them that I am seeing an awful lot these days, and I think we need to put a stop to it, to tell you the truth, is, the prompt says, my most irrational fear, and girls will write, men under 6 foot, and you can't tell because I'm sitting, this isn't like I don't know, we can't really scale this kitchen up here, to be honest, so you might not be able to tell, but I'm a short king, so I'm a short king, and, and it hurts, I'm your most irrational fear, me, just me, I'm fucking 5'7", that's with shoes on, by the way, before anyone comments. I'm your most irrational fear. Yeah, what about fucking, I don't know, Osama bin Laden? Yeah, he was fucking 6'2", and but he was over 6 foot, so I feel safe with him. Why? I'm your most irrational fear because I'm 5'7". Well, what am I gonna do? And most of the time it is like girls who are quite tall, and like fair enough, but like again, you're taller than me. That's what's so scary? Why is this an irrational fear of yours? I started smoking when I was 15. That's why I'm this small, I think. Hopefully. I thought stopping at 23 years of age would have meant that I'd grow, but no, apparently not. And I'm happy with my height, despite what this might seem like. It's just that prompt. That prompt bothers me, because really, your most irrational fear is a short king. What do you hate fucking having good quality time with someone? Do you hate feeling loved as well? Is that what it is? There are some other ones. Maybe further down the line we can take a deep dive onto some prompts, and I'll maybe share mine with you as well. I actually don't know, because I'm recording this on my phone, I'm not able to show you what my Hinge prompts are. I imagine they're absolutely hilarious because I get matched with every good-looking girl in the city. So that's yeah, and I don't need to prove that to anyone. All right, so fuck yous. Um, but that's a short rant about hinge prompts. We can do a deep dive on that, and I can take a selection of some of the worst. And if people want to send in some bad ones that they've seen, I would appreciate that, and that would be really funny as well. Um, so I've talked about Gym Plus Coffee and Dermot McSweeney and Niall Horgan. They just sound like the fucking like two dicks who fucking organise a run club, don't they? I'm slobbering an awful lot, and people are going to say, "Oh, it's just because you don't fucking exercise." Big news here. I've inquired about a Couch to 5K. I mentioned this last week, where the wheels are in motion. So follow along with me for my fitness journey, guys. I'm here in a little park in East Belfast, and I'm going to endure a 5K park run. Come along with me. I gotta have one of them wee fucking stupid jackets on with the water pipe in it. Get that? I'm sorry, that noise probably sounded horrific on this microphone. That's the noises the thing's gonna make. I'm gonna have my fucking energy gel running about eating bananas through fucking Victoria Park with my Apple Watch on. What's your Strava? That's what fucking Gym Plus Coffee is. It's for people who use fucking Strava as a dating app. That's what that is. Send me your Strava. Fuck Snapchat. Send me your Strava. Fuck you so much. You absolute boring piece of shit. I'm taking a big fucking. Maybe I just take a wee segment every week just to talk about what fitness wankers I hate at the minute. That would be a good idea, and let me know if you want that. But that's enough of the Gym Plus Coffee. What else do I have? Gareth Southgate said there the other day, young men need role models, not gaming and porn. If you don't know, Gareth Southgate is the former England manager, he's not in the job anymore, but he's the former England manager. Got them to the Euros final. Got them to the. Did they get to the final of 2 Euros? Am I right in saying that? Against Spain? Yeah, I think it did. Did they? No, semi-finals. I can't fucking remember, but he quite successful, despite not winning any trophies. Apparently, that's successful now. And so he came out and says, young men, they need role models, not gaming and porn. Yeah, I'd say that too. If I was on £5 million a year for fucking doing nothing but watching men play football, I would also say that too. How out of touch can you be to not, realise that some of these things are just an escape? Not even an escape, but just fucking part of life. What's wrong with see if there was no gaming industry, football wouldn't have anywhere near the amount of money it does. Think about how much money FC makes for football. The porn side, fair enough. That's it's cool these days to say porn's bad, and it's ruining people's brains. But let's be honest, let's not fucking joke around here. Know what I mean? You need a bit of it sometimes. After you've been out all weekend, you get back to your house, and you need to go to sleep, but you can't. You're fucking having an argument with the ceiling, and you say, there's only one thing that can get me to sleep here. Just knock one out. You're obviously not going to do it to your imagination because at that point your imagination's gone. All you can think about is fucking colours and shapes. You need something. You need a bit of visual aid. And so maybe that's what we need to do. Just reduce porn down to only use it when you need it. Maybe get a prescription from the doctors. And he goes, there you go. There's, I don't know. I prescribe you 2 hours of BBW porn, and and that's you. And you come back a week later and you say, Doc, I feel fucking fantastic here. I've just been knocking them out left, right, and centre here. Because I think the issue is it's not even. Porn probably isn't that bad of an issue if you're using it correctly. It's like anything in life, moderation. You don't need to be watching it fucking non-stop. I know there was talks of Kanye West in his studio would just have, or was it P. Diddy? I don't know. It's one of these fucking lunatics. They would just have porn showing on the TV screens the whole time, like when they're in the recording studio, and that's obviously not good for anyone. You know what I mean? Put The Simpsons on, mate. Put an episode of The Office on, like a normal fucking person. You don't need to be doing all that. But now and again, it's like a tin of Coke. I'm not going to drink one every day because if it did, I'd die. But, on the weekend, maybe have one. You're getting a Chinese on a Saturday night. No one wants a Coke Zero with a Chinese. Get a fucking normal Coke. Nothing wrong with it. Everything in moderation. In terms of gaming, though, like, Okay, yeah, obviously the point I'm making about the football side of it, but like obviously as well, you need it's everything in moderation. What the fuck is a role model gonna do? Who the fuck's what even is a role model? Who do you look up to your dad, your maybe teachers? Who looks up to footballers? You don't look up and be like, yeah, fair enough. I want to play football. I want to play football like him. So I don't want to fucking be Jack Grealish. So, well, to be fair, I do. I would love to be Jack Grealish. It would be very handy. But saying it's just a bit of a blanket statement, and it's also a statement from a position of privilege where you're on 5 million. I think it's actually looked it up earlier on. 5.8 million a year he was on when he was head coach of England. Yeah, no, it's easy for you to say, stop wanking and playing PlayStation. Yeah, what else am I gonna fucking do, mate? I don't have 5.8 million coming in a year. I can't go on these fucking holidays that you go on. All these, you're going to fucking Qatar to, manage a football team for however many weeks. Oh, you shouldn't play PlayStation. No, please shouldn't play PlayStation. Fuck you, Gareth Southgate. You fucking creep. You win fuck all. Maybe if you played a bit of PlayStation, learned a few custom tactics off FIFA, then you would have won something. You born bastard. And it's not as if there's not fucking footballers that don't play PlayStation. And footballers are the biggest degenerates ever. You give most of these guys are pretty fucking uneducated, from slums of Brazil, and then they come over to the Premier League. They're getting paid, 300 grand a week. What would you do? They're hardly being like, I'm going to be a role model to this guy. They're going to say, how many prostitutes can I get in this house? That's what they say to their Latin agents. Kyle Walker looks at a room and he says, he doesn't measure it in feet. He measures it in fucking prostitutes' feet. That's what he does, And so, it's you've a bit of a brass neck. You've obviously got your fucking boring footballers like Harry Kane, Harry Maguire, Harry Kewell. I'm just going to name Harry's. Who are like, they're probably the best role models. I'm England captain. Yeah. I never thought I could make it, but I'm England captain now. Yeah, you just need to stay at school and work hard. Yeah, obviously, they're gonna say it. But who are the role models in football gonna be? Fucking Neymar. The guy has sex with his sister. Let's be real here. Fucking Kieran Trippier, he's had more affairs than I've had Sunday dinners, which famously, as we've mentioned, I don't really have, which wouldn't be a good measure of saying how many he's had. Kyle Walker, as we've said, there's a video of him getting his cock out in the bar. Jack Grealish, there's one there. He's fucking was drink driving. George Best beat women. Are these the fucking role models that you want? Who's a good role model? Stephen Nolan. He doesn't do anything wrong. Worked hard. He from the Shankill, worked his way up. Highest paid BBC employee, I think, in Northern Ireland. And he's gay. Scratch that from the record. Allegedly, rumours are that he's gay. And that's a fucking role model. He's worked his way up despite the heavy criticism, despite getting kicked out of cafes in East Belfast, despite being allegedly a homosexual, despite being working class. Got a good education, got himself a good job at the BBC. That's who a role model should be, not Gareth Southgate, who just fucking, because that's unrealistic. Anyone can be, here's a quote, here's my quote of the day. Not everyone can be, okay, we'll start again here. Here's my quote of the day. Not everyone can be Gareth Southgate, but anyone can be Stephen Nolan. And I think that's a really important message that we should be giving to young men now. If anyone's a teacher in any schools and you're listening to this and you want me to come in and do a talk, I'll be happy to relay that message to the younger pupils, and give them something to work towards. Just say, Stephen Nolan actually, funny enough, went to my school, and this is before I found him so funny. But when we were in the sixth form centre one day in school, he came into the sixth form centre, and he was just standing or just sort of sitting talking to people. And I think back and I think how fucking funny that was, and why didn't I? It was only I didn't get to talk to him myself, but it would have been brilliant just to get inside the mind of Stephen Nolan, see what he was, what was he coming into an all boys school full of young boys, for? Hello, I'll come in, but I'm only speaking to the upper sixths, as long as when's their birthdays, I'll come in May and talk to them about their exams. Fucking frothing at the mouth. He's like Michael Jackson in the Thriller music video. He turns his head and he's got the eyes going. God love him. He just loves his ma. Another fun fact: whenever I get into stand-up comedy, my ma was telling the ones she works with, and they were saying, "Oh, that's brilliant," because You think about comedic. I live with my ma. Obviously, we've mentioned that. You think about famous people who live with their mas or like they have a close relationship with their ma. Stephen Nolan's one of them. And whenever my ma had said to the one she works with that I had been doing stand up comedy, you know what? That's brilliant. That's brilliant. You're gonna be like Stephen Nolan and his mummy. Why? Why does it need to be him? Why couldn't it have been, I don't know, fucking Peter Kay or something? He likes his ma. He loves his ma. He fucking, Stephen Nolan, happy days, I'll be like him. Nobody likes me. Ever. No one likes me anywhere I go. I can't get a fucking sausage soda for the life of me. That's what I aspire to be. But, again, sidetracking here. We've done well not to sidetrack too much this episode. And that's all my notes that I've got down. I did have a question last week. I suppose I can talk about it for a wee bit. I had a question last week, and it was, if your toilet was sentient, would you rather it was a woman or a man? And would you rather it be, loathe you for shitting and pissing in it, or you would have it, crave the shit and piss? And I've been thinking about this all week, so I think I'll give you my answer. It would have to be a woman, and she would have to crave it, realistically here. Because whenever I'm asking the question, I'm sort of saying about if they're hating it, they're like screaming. It's like war, it's like they're getting shot. Like, please, no, stop, why? They're doing all that. It's like you're committing war crimes against them. And if they're also like craving it, it's like almost, it's probably asexual. Let's be honest. And so you can't have, if your toilet was a man. Again, nobody wants to hear war crimes every time you go to the toilet. After that kebab last night, I had a few fucking war crimes in the toilet. I know what I mean. But you can't. You don't want to have it. Hating you, for example. And then if it's a man and it's like craving it, you don't want him because he's gonna be like, yeah, keep going. Like he's gonna be making it sexual. And I think if you want a woman, nobody wants to hear the cry of a woman every time you go for a shit. And it would be weird, I think, at first, but if the toilet was moaning and all and it was a woman, it's not that bad, At least then, it's not that bad, and it's not as if like everyone. I'm gonna assume in this scenario it's the same for everyone everywhere in the world. Like it's not just your toilet that's sentient. So everyone, it's not as if anyone will hear you go to the toilet and they'll be like, "What is that fucking freak doing up the stairs?" If your toilet was moaning away and begging you for more. But that was my opinion. I didn't really get any answers from anyone else. The question I'm going to give this week was, if you had to replace one of your fingers with a bottle of sauce, what sauce would you go for? I don't really care what finger, because you can lose a finger and it'll be alright. I actually was in Manchester this week, and we had a taxi driver who only had one finger. He was a foreign guy, so I'm not going to tell you what nationality he is because I don't know. I'm not going to make a guess. He did look Middle Eastern, I will say that. So, and I don't know what country from, but he had an Arabic name. So I'm going to assume, I think it's safe to assume, without repercussions, that he is an Arab. And he had one missing finger, and he was a skinny guy, so I don't think it was diabetes. So I want to know, what happened to the finger. I didn't really want to ask him. We were all in good spirits, we had a few beers in us. We didn't really want to ask him, what happened with the finger, but it was pointed out to me. Pardon the pun. It was pointed out to me, and I thought, I'd love to know, like, did he get, I don't want to be like, oh, this happens in all these Middle Eastern countries, like, did he get a cut off for, because that's a thing that happens. I wanted to know if that's maybe what happened, and he's went for a different life being an Uber driver. Who knows? Maybe or maybe not. Another story, sorry, I will go back to the question, but when we were there in Manchester, we went for some lovely hidden gem we found in Manchester city centre, for some nice tacos. And we're sitting, the way the taco shop was, it was like on a main street, and they had like patio doors, and it was a nice day. So after we finished our food, we took our margaritas, 2 for £14. Fucking don't mind if I do. There was 3 of us as well, 2 for £14. We were sitting thinking, like, how are we gonna do this? There's 3 of us. Genius. Get 2 margaritas each. Why the fuck not? Give us 6 margaritas here, and we'll drink them. And they were nice, to be fair. And I'm not a big tequila guy. Besides the point, we sat outside the front, and my friend took his glasses off and sat them down on the table. And we were over there to see Shane Gillis, and we were, that was just before the show. So we finished our food, finished our drinks, and we were like, right, okay, we'll go get a taxi here. We went to walk down the street, And as we're walking down the street, a homeless woman approaches us. We'd been approached by a homeless person earlier in the day, and he was straight up like, "I'm homeless. Do you have any money?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem. I don't mind that. I had a bit of change in my wallet. I have no problem. Anytime I've got change, I'll give it to a homeless person. I give it to him." And so this woman, she comes up as well, and I do have change. I'm planning on giving her my change, and she starts a whole fucking spiel about like her life story, and I'm just like, I'm gonna give you the money. You don't need to tell me. I don't need a reason to give you it. I'm gonna give you it. But she goes on. I give her the money. My friend who put his glasses down on the table, he gives her a cigarette, a fag, and we all go on our way. And just when we're waiting on the taxi, my friend goes, "Fuck, I don't have my glasses," and we're like, "They must be outside the taco restaurant." So he goes back up to the taco restaurant, and he doesn't come back with his glasses, obviously. And we're like, "What happened with your glasses?" And he asked the waitress in the restaurant, like, "Did you see a set of glasses sitting on the table there?" And the waitress says, "Oh yeah, there were, but there was this homeless woman, and she's just walked up and put them on and walked away." And he was like, "What the fuck?" And I think that's, fair play, because she's went away fucking up. She is profited from that whole situation. She's got it was about £1.80, his fag and his glasses. And, the glasses, some of us would consider them worthless because they're prescription glasses. How the fuck are you what are you meant to do with those? You don't know what prescription they are. I don't know what prescription my glasses are. So how the fuck are you meant to know what these ones are? What are you going to do with them? Who are you going to sell them to? Is there some like underground black market of glasses selling that I'm not aware of? Because, or unless it's like, I came up with the idea that like, Shane Gillis obviously has a famous joke where he talks about drug addicts and how they sometimes have to go on quests, and I think maybe that was one of her quests. Like, she maybe was going to buy drugs or something, or she was maybe going to buy something and she had no money, and they were like, I can't give you this if you've no money, but I tell you what, if you can find me a pair of glasses, I'll give you whatever you need. And she's like, I need to go get glasses. And she's just fucking struck lucky there. Or maybe she's just stroked them and fucking thought she'd get a few quid for them. But I like to think my idea is a lot more fun, it's a lot more creative. But that's that. I had a great time in Manchester as well. But the question was, sorry, sidetrack. I'm really just trying to fill up the minutes, to tell you the truth. We're on 42. I've only just clicked on now that it tells me what time I'm on the podcast, so that's great. We can wrap it up here. But the question is that I would like to see if anyone would like to answer next week. If you had to get rid of one of your fingers and replace it with a sauce bottle, what sauce would you go for? I think I go for red sauce, which is tomato ketchup if you're from fucking the middle class. I think I have red sauce breakfast. I can have red sauce for my lunch. I can have red sauce for my dinner. I think that would be the best. But, if that's not your favourite sauce, you don't like red sauce, and you would pick a different sauce, let me know your sauce. This is sauce talk at this point now. But yes, that's probably the end of the podcast there. If you've made it this far, I'm sorry to put you through that. I hope you've enjoyed it regardless. I think, maybe announce it. Yeah, fuck it. Big news. We've got a guest next week. I don't know if I've said this. I might have said it in a recording I did earlier on and deleted it, but we have a guest next week. I'm not telling you who it is, because if he doesn't come, then I'll have to get someone else. So that's your clue. It's a man. So yes, if you enjoyed this, please give me a follow. Give us a wee follow on YouTube. Give us a wee follow on Instagram. Follow me on Truth Social. I don't actually have that. Or follow me on the street if you want as well. I don't really give a fuck. It would be nice for some company now and again. But yes, thanks very much, and I'll see you next week.